On this week's edition, we'll tell you about a stunning renovation and creative reuse of the historic Seacobeck Hall on the campus of the University of Mary Washington. So on this week's edition, I'm inside Seacobeck Hall at the University of Mary Washington with Pete Kelly, who is the Dean of the College of Education for the University of Mary Washington. And we asked Dean Kelly to tell us about the remarkable renovation that recently occurred here in Seacobeck Hall. So Dean Kelly, first of all, thank you for joining us today.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So why don't we just start off by telling us a little bit about Seacobeck Hall, as far as a little bit about the history and what it traditionally had been used for.
Seacobeck Hall was built originally in 1931, and for about 70 years it served as the sole dining hall for all students here at the university. So we've got a lot of alumni who have very deep, heartfelt feelings about this building.
And then when the University Center was constructed a few years ago, that's where all the dining is now. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the University Center is where all meals are served, and this building was essentially mothballed for a number of years. And I think there was some talk about bringing the building down, but there was quite an uproar from alumni that this was a building that needed to be saved.
Yeah, so it's been very thoroughly renovated over the past several years. So talk a little bit about what the renovation entailed and now what it's used for.
Well, when I came on board, it was about 4.5, 5 years ago. We had an architect in place, Hanbury, the same architect that did another building on campus, but we didn't have a design yet. And so that was one of the first things that I got to be involved in, was sitting down with the architects and designing the living and learning spaces for the College of Education. And we had the opportunity to do focus groups with students, with teachers, with alumni, faculty, and staff. And we took lots of different input on how do we want to create our learning spaces, collaborative spaces. And so what you see here really is the result of that planning work. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, what are some of your your personal favorite parts of the renovation that occurred?
Well, our classroom spaces are amazing, and so I'm excited for you to have a chance to see those, because they're not just any classrooms. These are classrooms that are designed specifically for teacher preparation, and so those are fantastic. We've got some creative spaces as well. We've got a maker space, we've got a curriculum lab, and these are places where students can get in and create new pedagogies, new ways of teaching and learning. And so those are a couple of really, really beautiful spaces. This space here in the central area forum is just a place for students to hang out, to work together, and to collaborate with students. And so we've got a lot of, there's a lot to see in this building.
Yeah, the College of Education previously had been, where was that previously on campus?
We were on the second floor of James Farmer Hall in the center of campus. So we didn't have collaboration spaces, team rooms, no dedicated classroom spaces. And so this has been quite a transformation for the College of Education.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And you're co-located here with what entity?
We've got the Office of Disability Resources, which serves an important function on our campus. We've got about 11% of our students who are registered with the Office of Disability Resources. And so that group plays an important role in supporting our students and our faculty on campus.
Yeah. And so people are probably pretty familiar with Seacobeck Hall being right off of College Avenue, but it definitely looks a lot different inside than it did a few years ago.
It looks a lot different now, and it's, the architects had to work hard to balance sort of the architectural integrity of the building and maintain sort of the historical character of certain parts of the building. You'll see the dome room, and you'll see the pie-shaped staircases. When alumni walk through, it looks exactly like it did in 1935 in those spaces. But then, we've got all these new modern features. The architects used a lot of glass to bring in the natural light through the large arched windows, these really beautiful oversized windows that really sort of light up the place. And so it's a really beautiful balance, I think.
Absolutely. Well, it's a job very well done, and we're happy to see this beautiful building put to good use, and we appreciate you joining us today and for the tour.
I'm happy to do it. This is a tough time to attract teachers into the teaching profession, given the pandemic and a number of other variables, and so this is a building that loudly proclaims that teaching matters, and I'm so grateful to have it and to be able to share it with you today.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you again, and job well done.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
thank you.
Okay, so that'll do it for this week's edition. Thank you again to Pete for joining us today, and thank you for watching. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Fred Focus newsletter, and we'll keep you up to date on all the great things happening in the city of Fredericksburg. We'll see you next week.